Hello, everyone, and namaste. I am one of the consular officers at the U.S. Embassy in Kathmandu, and you are here to attend a session on how to apply for a visa to study in the United States or in America. And so the first question is, how do I apply for a student visa? Good question to ask for everyone who are here. So, but before you actually do apply for a visa, you need to do the three following things. First, have you been accepted at a school? Have you actually applied to a university in the United States? There are many, many universities across the United States, and it's really important that you do some research and ask questions. Go to your EducationUSA office here in Nepal and ask questions on which schools are appropriate to you. Secondly, have you received an I-20 or DS 2019? This is really important for your funding. And third, of course, is have you secured funding to pay for your tuition? As an international student, you're also entitled for scholarships to colleges and universities in the United States. So please inquire from your university or college of choice in which whatever funding is available for you. And so most importantly, please do not wait till the last minute to do the three following above mentioned things. It's really important to have all of your documents in a timely fashion. You can apply up to 120 days before the program starts. And so it's important to do so early. And so your next question is, so if I apply to school, what kind of student visas are available to me? Well, it depends on what kind of student you are. So the first type of visas is an F1 student visa. It's for undergraduates, graduates, and full-time English language students. So if you're going for your bachelor's degree, if you're going for a grad degree, if you're going for a PhD in the United States, and if you want to learn English full-time in the United States, you'll be applying for an F1 student visa. And so it's important to understand that that is an option available to you. The second option is the J1 exchange visa. And this is reserved for high school students and university exchange students. So if you're a high school student and you want to go study in the United States, you're most likely doing a J1 visa. And if you are doing an exchange program, for example, you receive an exchange opportunity from an employer or a school, or perhaps even from the US Embassy, you'll go on a J1 exchange visa. And then an M1 student visa is the third category of student visas, and is reserved for non-academic or vocational training. So are you going to do some sort of flight training in the United States or et cetera to kind of better your professional endeavors? So that's available. So it's F1, J1, and M1 are the three categories of student visas. So before you go, make sure you check your passport or before you apply as well. So make sure that there is at least one blank visa page for you to apply and get a US student visa. And is it valid for 6 months after your arrival in the United States? This is very important. Make sure that your passport is valid so that you don't have to renew your passport and come back to Nepal for that process. So also for your interview process and your application, you will need to take a photo. So I know that selfies are very popular these days, and unfortunately at the US Embassy, we cannot accept a selfie. It must be a professional digital photo. It must be 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters or 2 inch by 2 inch, and it has to be a white background. No hats, glasses can be worn. So go to the local professional photography place, take your picture. So don't have to worry about getting someone else to take your picture. Go to a place and make it so easy for yourself. So those are the instructions for how to take a photo. So next is paperwork and pay fees. So in order for you to complete your visa, you have to complete your visa application, your DS-160, and you may complete it at the following website. After you complete your application, you make sure you go pay the visa application fee, pay the fee at the Nepal Investment Bank, and pay the SEVIS fee. And the website for that is there. And then you must schedule you must schedule an interview on the following website at ustraveldocs.com. So at the interview, I know that many of you may be nervous for a visa interview at the US Embassy, but there's no need to be worried for it, okay? So, but in order for a successful interview to happen, make sure you bring with you the following items. Bring your passport, a photo, as we talked about, and how it's supposed to be, your original I-20 or DS 2019. It's really important that you do not bring a copy of your I-20 or DS 2019 because we will need to inquire for more information if you do so. Please bring confirmation of a completed DS-160 and bring the receipts of your visa fee and the SEVIS fee payment. That's really important for us to make sure that you're in compliance with the visa regulations. And most importantly, we want to know that you are intending to be a student and you are intending to be going to an academic institution, so we want to see your grades. So if you have attended only high school or +2s, bring those transcripts. If you've attended an undergraduate institution or college, we want to see your college transcripts and your high school transcripts. And if you're doing a PhD program, we also want to see maybe perhaps your master's degree, also master's degree grades. Also, if you are currently enrolled within a university and you want to go attend it physically in the United States, also make sure to bring those transcripts as well. So make sure you bring a passport, photo, original I-20, DS 2019, confirmation of completed DS 160, receipts of fee for SEVIS as well, and your school transcripts. So one of the most important parts about the student interview is the 3 requirements that we ask of students. So one, are you really intending to depart the US after you complete your studies? So you must show that you hope to do your studies in the United States, and once you're done, that you want to go and back to Nepal. And so number 2 is that you will use the visa only to study. This is very important because I know that a lot of people think that it's okay to work on a student visa, but however, it's not. It's against the law and you're not allowed to work on a student visa. So will you use the student visa only to study? Make sure that you understand that because you are there to learn, you're not there to work. We want you to study hard and we want you to enjoy your time in the United States and not worry about working, okay? And then number 3 is, can you pay for your studies? It's really important to understand that going to school in the United States is not only expensive for many people across the world, but it's also expensive for people in the United States. So we want to make sure that you successfully complete your studies and don't have to worry about any debts or any financial concerns. And so we want to make sure that you can pay for your studies. If you got accepted to the university that you really, really want, and you haven't got the financial aid that you wanted, make sure to ask again. Inquire from the student and international student offices because there might be a possibility that they will give you more money in scholarship aid. Also, make sure you plan for your scholarships, plan for your financial obligations as well. So we want to make sure you can pay for your studies. So again, the 3 requirements that we're really looking for in a student is, do you intend to depart the United States after you complete your studies? Are you going to use the visa only to study? And can you pay for your studies? So let's talk about some facts versus myths. So I know that there's a lot of chatter on social media about what is true and what is not in going to an interview. And so let me tell you about the facts first. So the fact is that when you do a student interview, it's an unbiased interview. We're looking for the following things that I mentioned in the past previous slides. Do you intend to be a full-time student? Do you intend to leave the United States at conclusion of your studies? And do you have sufficient funding to cost the entire of your education? We do not care about what school you've gone into and you accepted in and you want to study. We don't care if it's the best university or maybe another university out in the middle of the country somewhere. We don't care as long as the story about why you chose for that university fits the reasons why you want to go. And so there is no choosing for that of favoritism of schools. and also for myths. So we all adjudicate everyone's case on the basis of what comes before us. And so there is no favorite window to go to. Window number 9 or 10 or 8 is all the same. We will look at the case before us and we will look at the following items. Is there clear intent to be a full-time student? Do you intend to leave the United States at the conclusion of your studies? And is there sufficient funding to cover the cost of your entire education? And so it's really important to internalize that where there is no bias in the process, that in fact, there is no gaming the system, it's the facts that are presented to us at the window. And we don't care about any school that you go to, and we don't mind about where you come from in Nepal either. It's really about how you make the case to us about why the school is important, okay? So what happens once your visa is approved? Congratulations, of course. So now what? What will happen after your visa has been approved? Your visa will be ready in 3 to 5 business days, and it will be valid for 5 years, but this does not determine how long you can stay in the United States. Um, US Customs and Border Control, once you get to the United States, will determine how long you can stay in the United States. So please be aware of that, and congratulations if your visa has been approved. So what if you don't qualify for a student visa? Well, it's not the end of the road, and don't worry. So if your situation changes or if you have new information to share, you're welcome to reapply. You're very much welcome to reapply, and we want to make sure that you have an opportunity to study in the United States if you are able to. But we have to make sure that before you apply again, that your situation does change or you have more information to share. So preparing for departure. So remember, so keep your original I-20 or DS 2019 with you on the plane, and keep any letters or from universities authorizing late arrival to present to Customs and Border Control officials upon arrival. This is very important to make sure that you have smooth travel from Nepal to the United States and that you are seen with a legitimate reason onto why are you going to go to the United States. So I know that this presentation is a little bit short, but there is, if you have any other questions, you can always ask information from support-nepal@ustraveldocs.com. All of your questions and all your worries will be answered through this email. And so you can also look up more information on the Nepal US Embassy's website or ustraveldocs.com or travelstate.gov for more visa information. And remember that there will be, the embassy hosts monthly Facebook visa chats. So if you have questions about, like about visas in particular with student visas and the process and what it's like, please join our Facebook visa chats. So please note that we will not be answering any questions that pertain to a specific situation or a specific person, because we cannot do that. But however, we will answer general questions on these monthly Facebook visa chats. And of course, please check out Education USA on the following link. Education USA in Nepal does a great job for informing students about where they want to study, where they can study, and helping them make that decision on how to get there. And so thank you all for your time for this presentation. And I and other colleagues will be present in the live session for your questions and answers. Again, thank you guys so much.